What's going on, YouTube gang? It's Mellow DFS coming to you live and direct, here to give you my first look into NFL Week 14. I swear the time is going by fast, but look, almost end of the season. But we're going to go into it, y'all. Please press the like button. Please subscribe. Please share the video to your friends and family. Also, press the bell icon to get notified for future videos. We're going to jump into the slate, give you my full lineup, and also give you a recap at the end of the video. Alright, going to go with the 13 game main slate, so let's jump into it. Now, I already have it on the screen. Going with my quarterback, going with my man Jameis Winston in a favorable matchup, going against the Saints. Alright, now if you don't know, last year against the Saints at home, he had a 29 fantasy point game in week 17. He threw over 363 yards. He had one touchdown but 3 interceptions in that game. Alright, but you know, he's able to, hopefully he got put in a great game this Sunday. They actually won 31-24 in that game. So can they pull a 3-game winning streak against the Flame Bro Saints? We'll see. But nonetheless, he's averaging 24.9 fantasy points at home in the season. The Saints defense is allowing an average 298.5 passing yards a game, and he's getting about 1.8 touchdowns a game. The defense give up around 70.1 completion rate. That's something to watch for. All right, so, and also to give up around 24.3 fantasy points win away to opposing quarterbacks. So look at Winston to go in at home against the crazy Saints, man. But let's see what happens, y'all. So look at Winston in that matchup. Now we're going to running backs. Now we're going to go to my favorite 2 running backs for this week. Going to go with Christian McCaffrey. Even though he's 9,300, he's 200 less on Fanduel. Take a look at McCaffrey in a great matchup. He is carrying this team, y'all. So you got to give him credit. Now, he's averaging 35.2 fantasy points per game, but recently he's averaging 8.5 targets for 7.8 receptions a game, getting about 71.3 receiving yards a game, and around 90 rushing yards a game. Now, he's on a back-to-back 100-plus rushing yards with 6 touchdowns in the last 4 games. Gotta plug him in. All right, he's averaging 25.5 fantasy points win away, and going against Cleveland, they're allowing an average of 113.4 rushing yards a game and around 52.3 receiving yards a game to the opponent running backs, giving up about a touchdown a game. And they average giving up 32.3 fantasy points at home to opposing running backs. In that statement alone, this guy's going to go crazy. Gotta plug him in. He's on fire, y'all. Even though he's at 9,300 on DraftKings, it's worth every penny. Now going with a salary save spot, we'll go all the way down this list. Alright, we're going to look at Justin Jackson. Going in as starting for Melvin Gordon. Justin Jackson in his first game, 15 fantasy points, 1 touchdown for 63 rushing yards. Going against Pittsburgh, he actually surprised me. I'm not going to sleep on him like I did last week, but he's in a smashing matchup against Cincinnati, allowing 125.8 rushing yards a game, around 53.1 receiving yards a game to opposing running backs, and they give up around 32.2 fantasy points win away to the opposing running backs. So look at Justin Jackson. Even you could look at Elker, actually tag team if you want to. Look at them to do damage against the Cincinnati Bengals. They're so battered up, it's just ridiculous. But look at Justin Jackson in a great spot, and he's cheap. Alright, now let's go to our receivers. Now I'm going to keep this short and simple with the receivers. I'm going to be targeting the Saints and the Tampa game, but nonetheless, for some great save spots, I'm going to go down to my first receiver, Chris Godwin, in a favorable matchup. Alright, against the Saints, 4,900 on DraftKings, 700 more on Fanduel, but he's worth it. He's averaging 5 targets for 4.8 receptions a game, 74 receiving yards a game. He's averaging 15.9 fantasy points at home. He got his first touchdown from the Saints in week 1. So, in the last game at home versus New Orleans, that was week 17, like I stated before. Last year, he had a 27 fantasy point game, 7 receptions for 111 yards. That was thrown by Winston. So, everything I'm giving to you, Winston was the quarterback last year in this matchup. All right. New Orleans is last, allowing a crazy amount, 221 receiving yards a game to the opponent receivers, giving about 1.4 touchdowns a game, 48.5 fantasy points to opposing receivers when away. So going to be looking at Chris Godwin in this crazy matchup. Looking at Chris Godwin. Also, my next receiver, going to stay with the same squad. Adam Humphries has been balling recently. Take a look, averaging 17 fantasy points in the past 3 games. He increasing his load each week. Touchdown in each of those past 3 games. Perfect lineup last week. He's averaging 12.9 fantasy points at home in this matchup. Last year as well, on week 17, he had a 20 fantasy point game against them. 7 receptions, 102 yards in that matchup when they won. So look at them, Humphries, Godwin, Winston connection. With this is so cheap, y'all. So $4,900 for him. It's cheap. 65 on Fanduel, but DraftKings is they're giving us a helping hand to collect that bag before Christmas, y'all. So look, both of these guys are $4,900 with a crazy upload and be a crazy upside, and it definitely should hopefully go in like they did last year in week 17. All right, so let's look at them. Now my third receiver will be Curtis Samuel. Now Curtis Samuel, he's one of the guys I also chose last week as well. He's averaging 9.3 fantasy points when away. He has 4 touchdowns in the past 5 games. He was also in the perfect lineup last week. He's averaging 13.47 fantasy points in 3 close games. He's in the past 2 away games, he's averaging 15.5 fantasy points. In the past 4 games, he's been averaging 6 targets for 4.3 receptions for 44.5 receiving yards a game, with 2 touchdowns in the past 4 games. Going against Cleveland, like I said before, they're allowing 165 receiving yards to receivers position and around 39.6 fantasy points at home to opposing receivers. So look at Curtis Samuel. He's getting the connection with Cam, and I'd like to see that they're helping each other try to get this W. And he's cheaper than Funches. So $4,000 on DraftKings, 57 on Fanduel is not bad, but we'll be targeting him on DraftKings. Take a look at Samuel as my third receiver. Now we're gonna go into tight ends, but before I do, please look at the draft dashboard tools in the link in my description for my plays. Also, just the fact that it's an amazing tool, one-stop shop. The fact that I'm using it on my cell phone is amazing. As you can see, you can switch to either DraftKings or Fanduel. Get the last 3 games in fantasy points. You get the last 3 games in targets, even last three games in the rush attempts for the either receivers or running backs. You can see their defense position matchup, also the rank in their defense matchup, and you can also see some stats and whatnot. It's just a one-stop shop, y'all. Definitely take a look. Click the link in my description, get access to the sleepers, the studs. Click the watch players, you get access to my plays. Just click the watch Melo's DFS picks, you get my plays, y'all. So one-stop shop, 30 days for $1 right now. Click the link in my description to sign up. All right, now let's go into my tight end position. My guy, he is balling. Can't say nothing else more. My man Travis Kelce has been doing damage. I'm not really concerned with Baltimore, knowing they're 18th in the opposing tight ends, but they've been doing horrible in the past few games against the tight end spot. But knowing that he is that guy on Kansas City, Cannot fade him. He's been averaging 6 red zone targets in the past 3 games. He's averaging 28.5 fantasy points per game. But at home, he's averaging 15.8. He's been averaging 11 targets, 8.8 receptions a game for 110 receiving yards with 6 touchdowns in the past 5 games. Baltimore's defense is allowing 60.8 yards to opposing tight end position, and he's been in the perfect lineup four times in the past 5 games. It's ridiculous. So Baltimore's defense has given up an average 14.6 fantasy points when away to the opposing tight ends. So look at Kelsey, man. He is going crazy like he did last game. He helped me, man, cash great. 42 last game, Rams 31. He's the focus point in the offense, so we got to plug him in. All right. Now, we're going to go to our flex play of the day. Going to go back to receivers and going to go to T. Going against Houston. Not a favorable matchup, but just the history alone against them. He's been in the perfect lineup 2 out of the past 3 games. He's averaging 22.48 fantasy points against Houston. He had a 37 fantasy point game with 2 touchdowns in week 9 at Houston. 5 receptions for 175 yards against them. Gotta look at him in this matchup. He's averaging 22.1 fantasy points per game with 2 touchdowns in the past 4 games. But he's averaging 12.9 fantasy points when away. He's averaging 9.8 targets a game, 6.8 receptions for 108 receiving yards a game. Now, the 175 yards game, that was at Houston last year in week 9, but he had an 18 fantasy point game in week 4 versus Houston this year. He had 4 receptions for 115 yards. He could have went for 20 plus with the touchdown. He got the touchdown, but 18, just the fact that he's the guy on that offense, y'all. So look at T.Y. Hilton as my flex play. All right, and we're going to go to my defense. Now, there's nothing much about the defense. I'm going to look at the Broncos with a horrible 49ers offense. So let's go to defense. So defense, I'm going to look at the Broncos, y'all. So they're 3,600 on DraftKings, but it's worth it. Last 2 games, 14-11, but in a great matchup against the 49ers. The 49ers are taking about 2.8 sacks a game, around 1.2 interceptions a game. And the Broncos are averaging 3 sacks a game, 1.5 interceptions a game, 2 fumbles a game, and around 13.5 points, and only 13.5 points allowed on the offense side. Broncos is also allowing 11 fantasy points when away. This 49ers offense allows the opponent defense around 10.8 fantasy points per game in the season. Look at the Broncos for my defense. All right, let's go to DraftKings for the recap of my plays. All right, everybody, here's the recap on DraftKings for my play for the Millionaire Maker, the $1 million winner for first place. Going to go with quarterback Winston, Justin Jackson, McCaffrey, Curtis Samuel, Chris Godwin, Adam Humphries, Travis Kelce, T.Y. Hilton, and the Broncos D. Still get about $300 remaining, but that's my plays, y'all. First look into it. Like my plays, like my lineup, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Any questions or concerns with your lineup, feel free to comment below. Look at the Draft Dashboard tools, link in my description to sign up to get some plays and help out with your lineup. Love y'all. Y'all collect that bag. All right. Love y'all. Y'all stay blessed. I'll see y'all in the next video.